Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Marvin.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good to see you. Go Triangle. How are you? Is that a
Ma'am?
I was speaking to someone else.
Oh, okay.
How are you doing, Marvin?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Yep. Just
Hi,
needed something.
everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Kelly. I see you.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Oh.
Everyone, I think that might be you, Marvin. Can I
Oh,
get you to mute for me?
yep.
You're jamming in there.
He's going to get a ticket in a minute.
Be safe, Marvin. All right. Michael, good to see you. Kaiser.
Hello.
Hi, Darren.
Hey, Audrey.
Hello.
All right. Let's give it one more minute. I see we have, what did I see, 29 people, 30 people on the call. Let's give it one more minute and we'll get started. It's good to see your faces and even your names. Peter Tyler, it's good to see you here as well. I see Allison. Allison, how you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Good. While we're waiting, if you guys would go ahead and put your name, the agency you represent, as well as your email address in the chat. You know, that's what we use to take attendance, and we want to count you. We want our leaders to know that you are a part of this conversation, so we want to be able to count you. Again, that's your name, the agency you represent, and your email. And it also makes it very easy for other partners to get in contact with you. So it is 101, and welcome everyone to Wake Local Reentry Council meeting. This is our first meeting of 2021, and I'm excited that you are here. I am Lenarda Williamson, your reentry coordinator, and I'm just excited about 2021. Again, I hope it has been inspiring and hopeful for you so far. Before we go on, I'll ask you one more time to go ahead and put your name, the agency you represent, into the chat and your email address. All right, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So we're going to, I'm new to this. Usually, Don, I heavily manage this, so we're learning today to manage this part of Zoom. So let's go on. We're going to go ahead and move to our, I don't know if you all saw that, to our, can you all see this admit piece, or is this just me?
I think just you.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right, I'm trying to, okay, now we've moved on to the agenda. So do a quick overview of our agenda. Today we will hear a spotlight from Natalie Mabon, my colleague. She'll give us some updates with regards to our reentry programs, and she'll just refocus our strategy for 2021, some messages about that. Donna Farrar and my colleague, Heatherly Ryder, will share a success story and service delivery information, just some updates on that. We'll hear from Allison Jordan from NCDPS. We'll hear from Darren Tester from Legal Aid of North Carolina. We'll have a special presentation from Michelle Richardson of Wake County Human Services. We'll hear from our own Dennis Gaddy, some second chance updates. And we'll hear from the first time, we'll meet for the first time, newly, I guess elected would be the right word, chair and co-chairs, and they will share our committee reports, and then we'll have announcements, and we'll be wrapping it up. So we'll go right into this. And so up next, we have Miss Natalie Mabon. And Natalie, you tell me when you want me to advance to the next slide.
Okay, I sure will. So first of all, good afternoon and welcome to Wake LRC 2021. I kind of like to say this is 2021 surviving the pandemic, and that we have done, and collectively we have done that fairly well. What better way to kick off the new year than to recognize the many contributions that our partner network have added. And so this body of work has only been impactful because of all of your commitment. And we thank you for serving. We thank you all for the service that you have provided to the men and women who are returning to Wake County. This spotlight segment brings me a lot of joy because it gives us opportunity to remind you all of who shares this council with you, and an opportunity for us to highlight some of their outstanding contributions. So I'm going to ask everybody to participate in 1 minute. And when I say give me a drum roll, I want everybody to do a roll with the tongue, wake it up for the afternoon. So this month's spotlight partner is, give me a drum roll or tongue roll. Lenarda, if you will advance the screen.
I'm
Our
trying
partners,
like
our
I'm trying
partner
to do the drum
spotlight,
roll.
what is Miss Fielka Maria Gabrielle. We thank you so much, Fielka, and thanks to her partnerships in the community, she has provided us with the following resources that we could share with the participants that we've worked with. She's helped provide food boxes and fresh produce, meal tokens for a hot meal at a place at the table, PPE kits, hand sanitizer, even medical supplies like Depends, clothing, hygiene kits that had some of those Bomba socks and soap and toothbrushes and toothpaste and other miscellaneous items. So this month, we thank you very much, Bielka, for all of your contributions. Thank you for being a part of the council.
Thank you so much. To know me and to know that I am literally got tears in my eyes right now, because one, I love this picture. But honestly, I love the work that I'm blessed to get to do. I really do. I know that is for a lot of people going to work it's been stressful with the pandemic, and for yet it has given me so much hope, because I actually see families transitioning, and I am so proud of Lenarda and this team. Some of you guys know when we started long time ago doing Reentry, it never looked like this. It was really us trying to get things together, and you guys actually are pulling things together. And Lenarda has been not only my cheerleader, but she has been my motivation to deeply look at what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I am literally here babbling because I'm like, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me to be at the table. Thank you.
Thank you for your willingness. So a few of the capital area updates, and Lenarda referenced the 2021 refocus. Just as a reminder, the House Wake funding, the CARES Act funding that we got was temporary funding. We knew that, but that funding cycle ended December 31st. And as you recall, that's the funding that allowed us to be able to really reach out and address housing insecurities with some unique resources. For instance, the utility assistance, rental assistance, emergency housing, and things like that. We were really able to provide for our participants. That was a joy. And then also that funding is what allowed us to have our second case manager, Keverly Ryder. Excuse me. So, good news is that we did receive some continuation funding that allowed us to keep Keverly on part-time and to continue some of those resources through the end of March. So what that looks like is that you guys will see some changes in how we will continue to handle the service that needs to happen. We will continue to lean on the entire network. We are a collective body, and so our capacity will change some. We will have some different processes, but I just wanted to give you guys that heads up so that as we roll out some of how we do things differently, be willing to work with us, give us suggestions. If there are things that you feel your agency can assist with, volunteer. Don't feel like that's something you can't do. We truly see ourselves as a part of this collective. We are a part of the council. And as the reentry team, we just want to work together with you guys so that the people who depend on us as a collective don't feel the changes. But I think it's important for you guys as the council to understand the changes. We don't want, we're not operating in a vacuum. This is a collective process. And so we want you to know that we'll have some changes. They won't be huge changes, but we'll work with you guys on that. And if you have concerns, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. You've got my contact information. You have Leonardo's. So you will see that there is a change in Keverly's availability. Usually she was full-time. So now as part-time, she's only with us on Thursdays and Fridays and half day on Mondays. So when you reach out to us, if you're trying to reach Keverly and you need something before a Thursday or Friday or Monday, don't hesitate to reach Leonardo or myself or even Donna. If we can assist, we're going to do that. We are very much still the same team. We just look a little different. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. We are continuing to look for funding opportunities. I did see Melinda Todd on this call. She's our Strategic Initiatives Director, and she's continuing to look for funding opportunities and writing grants where we can increase our capacity and also diversify the services that we're offering. We are doing partnerships with our local universities. We have our newest intern started the 8th of February, and I thought I saw Nia. Nia Kikivaris is a student from St. Augustine University, and she is with us now and participating in our Campbell University Reentry Circle project, as well as assisting with case management. So those are some of our updates. Melinda, did I leave anything out that you'd like to add?
No, I think you covered everything. I would just, as I always say, you know, some people are like, oh, she probably already sees all these grant applications out there. I won't send them to me. I am never offended, even if I've already looked at it and like, oh, that won't work for us. Maybe I haven't. So please, you know, if you hear about opportunities, and we're always looking for partnering opportunities too, like what we're talking about with Campbell. So it's not always about going after the grants, but that's a big part of what I do. But I appreciate that. And please, if you want to partner on something, please reach out to us.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I think Donna and Keverly are up next with our service delivery.
Hello, everybody. So as you can see on the screen, we had 151 participants served since February 19th of last year. And just to highlight something for this month, we had 4 individuals actually obtain their driver's license. So we're excited about that. And then Keverly would like to share a success story.
Hi, everybody. So I had a really great success story. It kind of continued from last year. We had a gentleman we call Mr. O, and he came to us after serving about 18 months for a sexual crime. And he came to us in November and started living in the shelter. And he was really struggling with his newfound place in society because he had a lot of experience in retail and had about 30 years in background and managerial experience, but he was unable to find a job. And one of the biggest struggles was being locked down all the time, even when he did get an interview inside of the shelter because of the COVID restrictions. So with lots of encouragement, he was able to find a part-time job in December. And then in the beginning of January, he found a second part-time job. And then we were able to find him a boarding house, and he was able to move out in February. So now he's fully employed and living in a boarding house, and in February within 4 months. So that was really great.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Heverly. All right. So up next we have Allison Jordan from NCDPS.
Well, hi and good afternoon, and thanks for having me. I guess I should turn my camera on. So you at least see who I am. So I am the community development specialist that works with Wake County and the staff there, and I think I'm very fortunate to get to work with them because they are such hard workers and definitely don't mind going above the call of duty whenever I've sent them someone or someone has been sent to them. So I want to say thanks for making my job so much easier. And it's always great when we have meetings in my office, virtual, but meetings in my office to be able to toot y'all's horn because it makes it so easy to be able to do with the great work you're doing, especially for a large county. And again, y'all basically be around for a year. So that's because February was your anniversary, or maybe it was when I came on with you. I think I came on with y'all in February. So, but we've been together for a year. So I really appreciate how easy you've made it getting into Wake County and getting to know you guys. I know there's been a lot of talk about when will the reentry week be. It's in April usually. Well, what does the governor, has he said it? We have not heard, but we are reaching out. We have reached out this week to them to set a week, or I mean, certainly can be a whole month long, but the governor usually sends a proclamation to say, this is the week we're designed as reentry week. So as soon as we get that set, I will let y'all know. I know several of my counties, and I work with Wake and Buncombe and Mac and McDowell. But a lot of them across the state are wanting to do the same thing, and they want to be able to pre-plan some activities, whether it be virtual or however we creatively try to celebrate reentry week. But that will be in April, and I'll let y'all know the specific week. But go on and plan something if you want to do it, even if it doesn't fall on that exact week. Still plan. Just kind of for the LRC staff, we have written a SOP manual, and we've got a PowerPoint we've worked on, and I'm hoping that training will be set up in April. And we might try Guinea Pig County in end of March, but that is going to be hopefully so much easier for a new county starting up. I know there were a lot of questions and are we doing it right type thing. So that will come along. But other than that, we're still virtual, and we are here to help in any way we can. So thanks for having me, and have a sunny day today, guys. There's no rain today.
Thank you, Allison. And Allison, thank you for mentioning that Capital Area Workforce Development has been in this role as the intermediary agency of Wake LRC for years, actually just been a year. February 19th was our year marker. So thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, and y'all just jumped leaps and bounds in just a year's time. And especially coming in a little awkwardly with files and lack of old files, and of course COVID on top of all of that. So y'all have just done a remarkable job with all the barriers you all are given. So y'all are definitely barrier removers and barrier move out of my way people.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So up next, we have Attorney Darren Tester from Legal Aid of North Carolina.
Hi, everybody. As Lenara mentioned, my name is Darren Chester. I'm a staff attorney with Legal Aid of North Carolina. I'm filling in this week for my supervisor, Ayana Robinson, who normally joins these meetings. I was recently added to the expunction group with Legal Aid. So while I know Ayana has really, really big shoes to fill, when you don't see her, you'll most likely see me. Just to give you guys a little bit of background with what it is we do. The expunction group within Legal Aid, we pretty much handle all of the expunctions for people in North Carolina. So expunctions, they include those for, convictions of crimes, but also they extend out to non-convictions. So, a person who's arrested, they have a criminal record. And anytime there's an arrest, there's documentation of that arrest. And we know that, having a criminal record can be a barrier to a lot of things: housing, finding steady, gainful employment. So getting those things expunged off your record, allowing, really giving folks a second chance is really what our group is designed to do. Now, I'm here to answer any questions that you guys may have. Leonardo, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first Thursday of every month, we do an expunction clinic where either Ayana or myself, we will do a presentation to go over the expunction laws and answer any questions, and really provide any type of guidance it is that we can. So we have a presentation scheduled for next Thursday, March 4th, my understanding. I'll actually be doing that presentation. One of the things that I will highlight, I know with you guys doing reentry, a lot of your clients are just coming right out of jail, so they may not, or coming off of some type of probation or something like that, so they may not immediately qualify for an expunction. But there is this thing called a certificate of relief, which a lot of your clients may actually benefit from, and that'll be something that I go into more depthly next week. But right now, I'm here to answer any questions. If anyone had any follow-up questions from the presentation last month that Ayana did, feel free to reach out to me. I will, if I can't answer your question immediately, I will definitely research it and get back to you. The law recently changed in December. The Second Chance Act took effect this past December. So there's a lot of new information in the area of expungements. So there's some things that we just haven't seen yet because it's, we're so soon after the new law has taken effect. But, like I said, again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If I can't answer them today, I will get back to you at some point if you give me the contact.
Thank you, Darren, and you're absolutely right. We'll revisit that. The criminal record expungement clinic is scheduled next March, and so you guys will get a reminder, and actually in your calendar invite, you should have that flyer so that you can share that with your participants and have them to register. We do have some COVID precautions in place to make sure that everyone's safe and health is prioritized. You may recall that last month we did our session virtually. We did a session for you all, the service providers, but we also did a session for the public for our reentry participants, and that particular one was virtual because of the weather. We wanted to make sure that we accommodated all those things. But going forward, we don't have any plans to have anything else virtually at this point for the community for reentry participants. So we have limited seating. What we will be offering on March 4th will be in person here at the Chillery Center. So you'll get a reminder for about that shortly. Does anyone have any questions in particular for Darren? And we also wanted to say thank you very much. Many of you attended that session for service providers. I think we had over like 70 or some very high participation from the council. Do you have any questions? If so, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask Darren, or I'm sure he has shared his information in the chat box, and he is very responsive. If you would like to email him personally, he is very responsive, and I'm confident he'll respond to your question.
Hey, Darren, this is Bianca Gabriel, Wake County. One, I want to say thank you for the work that you're doing. A lot of times we often get our partners to do things, but we forget to say thank you because we can't do it without you, right? But I did want to ask, I've had a couple folks, and I know, unfortunately, I was in and out when they did the service provider training that day, but I've had questions, and I just want to make sure that we are redirecting folks. I understand, I have some young people that they had charges when they were young. They were under the age of like 15, 16 years old that are coming up in the worst timing. Like, they're going to go get a job. They weren't convicted. These were things that they may have been on like a juvenile probation or something like that. But, and we're trying to help them through, but it's one of those, if they were under the age, I thought if they were under the age of 16 and these were non-drug, these were just kids showing off, being a bad tail. And here it pops up, years later. And when he's checking into it, he found out actually because he went to go get a pistol permit, a concealed weapon. And they're saying that this is on his record. But then when he goes downtown, they're saying that they don't see anything. So, he's kind of stuck. And unfortunately, this is a young man who is struggling because he needed that for work to get a concealed weapon for the job that he's getting. How do we connect for things that happened when they were a juvenile?
So in that particular case, I'll answer your question very generally and broadly. But in that particular case, please reach out to me. I'll have someone from our team contact him, and we'll definitely look into it. So with the recent Second Chance Act, part of that was what's called Raise the Age legislation. As a part of the Raise the Age legislation, anybody that was convicted as a juvenile prior to December 1st, 2019, because as you all are probably aware, North Carolina was one of 2 states that convicted juveniles as adults. So anyone that was convicted as a juvenile, which means 16 or 17, prior to December 1st, 2019, they can get almost their entire record expunged, right? So there's some limitations. So we would need to pull his record to take a look at it and see. But for the most part, they're getting that entire record expunged. So for him specifically, send me his contact information. I will have someone reach out to him so we can do an intake and get started on him. But generally for juveniles, the new law has really helped in a sense that a lot of, like you said, these kids just being kids, these things where they get in trouble, and we know, there's an over policing of the Black and brown communities, and Black and brown kids don't get the same slaps on the wrist.
Right.
Sure.
This legislation is very helpful for those situations. I can't answer specifically because I don't know what his record is like, but for the most part, they're able to get quite a bit expunged.
Okay, and one other question, and thank you guys for being patient with me because it comes in my head and then it twirls around for a while. So along with the expungement, and this may be a different topic or maybe another way of another conversation, Nikki. A lot of these young people, you know, back in the day, and I can even say even with my own child, I remember the options were have them arrested or have them go to Holly Hills. I remember it was like a big push to get these kids evaluated. And so I did an unfair justice to a family that I'm still working with. Had encouraged mom, hey, you know, they're saying that he's oppositional defiant. And if they're saying, let's just go get him evaluated. And that now, you know, I'm finding out years later, these young people, we're putting them in help. And then later on, they find out in this young lady's situation, she can't get in the military because they said that she was admitted to a mental health facility because of juvenile behavior. So I don't know if that's the same falls under expungement or if that's something on a different, like a different venue that they may. I'm just learning years later, some of these families that we helped, we hurt because their kids are caught up in the court system. They got caught up in child welfare. They got caught up in mental health services that later on has really damaged a lot of the, and it is in Black and Hispanic communities more so. And nobody knows the answer to how to get these kids back on the right track. These young adults back on the right track.
So the answer to that question is it depends, honestly. Okay. If it was something where they were directly, you know, voluntarily taken to Holly Hills by like a parent or something like that, I don't believe that this will cover that. Now, if this was something that was court ordered and part of some type of plea agreement or probation or something like that, it's possible, but again, I'm not 100% sure. I will have to look into that. And the reason why I say that though is, let's say, for example, it was something that was court ordered and it's part of some type of, you know, you plead guilty, we won't send you to jail, we'll send you to such and such.
Right.
By expunging that record, we're getting rid of everything, not just the conviction, but the arrest, you know, we're contacting everyone who was involved, you know, from the arrest to the charges of that case for them to get rid of those records.
Okay.
I was going to say, you know, I realize, you guys probably realize, I skipped a part of the agenda, but I'm going to bring it back in under the announcements. And it's an overview of our website. And the reason that's relevant is because we're talking about the expungement session that was offered to the service providers. Actually, even though VL, I know you mentioned you weren't able to attend that. And for anyone else that was not able to attend that video is actually out there on our website, and I will show you where to find that shortly.
Cool, thank you, that would help.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Darren and Bianca, for asking those questions. We're going to move on, and we have a special guest presenting, also from Wake County Human Services. It's our partner, our colleague, Ms. Michelle Richardson. So we are glad to have her with us today to share some information about food nutrition services, employment, and training opportunities. All right, Michelle, I'm going to share my screen.
Good afternoon, everybody. As Leonardo mentioned, I am Michelle Richardson. I do work at Wake County Human Services as well for the FNS ENT program. I'm just going to give you an overall about who we are and what we do. I am actually one of the employment counselors in this program. Our program is Food and Nutritional Services, Employment and Training. So for those of you that don't live your life by acronyms, that would be open to people who are SNAP recipients, EBT holders, food stamps, for the old school people like myself. Next slide, Leonardo, please. some of the things that we offer are job search training, which is the component that I am active in, basic education, vocational training, and hands-on training. These are components that are open and they are free to any of the food and nutrition service recipients. So if they have an active Wake County food stamp program, these services are available to them for free of charge. In the component that I am active in, which is a job search training, we will do resumes, we will assist them in their job search, we will mock interview with them, we will assist them with anything that it takes in order for them to obtain a position which will assist them in becoming self-sufficient. Lenarda, next slide, please. So again, who can receive or who can be in this program? If you are receiving food stamp benefits in Wake County and you are not a Work First recipient, then you are eligible for this program. Way up on, you know, the food chain somewhere in the federal government, Work First and this particular program come out of the same pot of money. So therefore it would be double dipping. So if you do have a Wake County an active food stamp case, and you are not in Work First, you are eligible for this program. Next slide, please. Currently, we are conducting, due to COVID, our virtual informational sessions or discussion sessions. The first step would be to contact, which I have put in the chat, one of the program staff to complete the application packet. So Tony Zarcone, who is normally here, who is my supervisor, is someone that you could contact. I have put in also the email to contact us, or you can contact me, and my information is there as well. Next slide, please. So in order to receive this application packet that you will need to fill out, you will need to email us at employmentfns@wakegov.com. If you have clients that are not savvy on email systems or prefer a paper application, it's not a problem. You can get a paper application by visiting our main lobby of the Swinburne building, which most of you know is 220 Swinburne Street. The hours of operation are 8:30 to 4:15. And while the building, yes, is closed predominantly for our clients, the lobby area is open with all the applications that they need, be it food stamps, Medicaid, FNS-ENT program. All those applications are out there for clients. Next slide, please. So you want to complete the packet that you receive, and you want to send it back to snail mail, again, Wake County Human Services, WCHS, Swinburne. You can put it just like that with our PO box, or you can fax it to the number that you see there, the 212-9491, or you can certainly email it to employmentfns@wakegov.com. We also have a Dropbox. Normally that Dropbox is inside. However, now during COVID, the Dropbox is outside. So there's a huge sign, it says Dropbox. I think it's yellow. So they can go ahead and drop it in the Dropbox if they so choose. Next slide, please, Lenarda. You can also use your computer, tablet, phone, or any device that you're using for a fillable PDF file. So that is probably the quickest way to get it back. You want to complete the PDF, save it with your name, and then go ahead and reply back to the email. Or you can just save it and send it to the employmentfns@wakegov.com, or directly to Tony Zarcone at tzarcone@wakegov.com. I have included that in the chat as well. Also, we do have this information in little sheets in case you'd like to have them. You can email us and we will be more than happy to send that to you. Next slide, please. Once the completed application is received back, it is reviewed by one of our staff. Generally, it's Tony or myself. Once eligibility is confirmed, meaning that one of our program staff has checked that they have an active Wake County food stamp case, then we will contact the client to further discuss the program, set up an enrollment appointment with one of the employment counselors, or if they are choosing the vocational component, then we will be sending that off to our educational navigators. Program participants are able to work with multiple partners, or in other words, to be in multiple components, meaning, yes, I want to go back to school, but I really need a job right now. So you would be assigned to an employment counselor who will assist you in getting the employment that you need right now, but you're also able to be enrolled in that vocational or the education component as well, or the training component, whatever area or combination of areas would assist the client in the avenue that they are choosing. Again, I want to mention that this program, I don't think I've mentioned this, I'm sorry, but it is voluntary. It is a voluntary program, so they can leave the program at any point in time if that's what they want to do, and it will not negatively affect their food stamp benefits or their future eligibility of food stamp benefits. Next slide, please. So our program contact is Tony Zarcone. He is our employment services supervisor. His phone number is there. You don't have to write it down, and his email is there. I have put that in the chat for you as well. Next slide, please. And prior to question and answer, I want to mention something that is a benefit, and it is open to everyone, whether or not they are in the FNS ENT program, is that we conduct, the employment component does conduct, I would say it's generally monthly, but at worst case scenario, it's every other month. We have these virtual workshops, and it is to assist job seekers in getting jobs. It may be that this month's focus is on applicant tracking systems, or this month's focus is on the virtual hiring event, or this month's focus is on NC Works navigation and resume builder and how to navigate through that system. And that is open to everyone, whether or not they are in this program. And we have some great resources in those workshops. And that's basically it. I do want to apologize, I'm not on camera. I share an office space with my college son who opts not to be on camera today. But I am here. So if you have any questions, supportive services, partnerships, things like that, please feel free to ask me at this time.
Hey, it's Bianca again. So and thank you for that presentation. I know we sent a lot of folks, especially for the those that are receiving benefits. And I understand that monthly or bi-monthly, you may have something for those that are not receiving services. But we have situations where, a person needs help with their resumes now. And is it that the focus is only on those that are receiving benefits right now to get that individual assistant?
So individual assistance, Bianca, as you know, our NC Works Career Center is closed right now. Otherwise, we would be sending them there. Mm-hmm. However, the one-on-one assistance for resumes, yes, is done only through this program for food stamp recipients. However, that all being said, we have those workshops, and we do a workshop on resumes the various kinds of resumes, why would you choose those kind of resumes, and what they should look like, with handouts that they are able to use as templates, basically. I want to offer as well that while our service site is closed, NC Works at Tillery Place, 1730 Tillery Place, 1730B as in boy, Tillery Place is open. Their phone number is 919-715-0111. I unfortunately do not know their hours of operation, but they are the center in our area that are still open to clients, and that clients are coming in daily for that one-on-one assistance.
So I'm gonna
Thank
chime
you
in
for
really
pointing-
quick.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
We all
Oh,
want to.
go ahead, Melinda.
No, you do it. You're there.
This is
Yeah.
Kaiser. I'm here at the center at Artillery. We are open from 8 to 5. 8:30 is when actually participants come in. Limited capacity, so have your mask and stuff. But the phone number is 919-754-0111. And you are correct. We do still have our resume class. And I'll jump into this a little later, but we're actually trying to start a new class for people reentering and get them acclimated to doing a resume, because that class, I don't want to say it's advanced, but there are a few steps that have been taken by those participants. They're already in the loop. So I was talking with our events coordinator today, Deborah Shafi, and we're trying to work on getting something started along with Melinda, probably Donna, to get these people, get them in and get them going with their resume. So we don't have it yet, but we're actually working on that. So that's something, if they don't have any experience, don't even know anything about a resume, we're gonna work on. But right now we still do have the class, and the class has to have at least 5 participants sign up for Wake County to come over and do it. So, but it is available. And if you need more information, like you can just call that number or contact me.
Thank you, Kaiser. Melinda, did you want to add something? Because I know we were all about to jump in. Michelle, just so you know,
I saw several of us.
Here.
Yeah, I just also wanted to point out that we can provide a lot of our resources remotely. We can do it that same number if someone, doesn't feel comfortable coming in for lots of reasons that people aren't feeling comfortable coming in places. Understandably, they can get help by the phone, and they can get help online at accessncworks.com, and that is our contact center to provide online services. So you could actually get resume help that way. Because I know there are a lot of people who either have transportation barriers, which is actually why we originally created it, but it's actually been really timely in this past year that even if people could get there, they may not want to for health reasons or other reasons. And so we do have this resource as well, where you access the resource of our Career Center either online or by the phone.
Thank you. Natalie, were you going to say something as well?
I was going to say what they both said, but also during announcements, I might mention something about there is also a partnership in the works with Wake Tech to come in and do some of that high school equivalency, high set testing, and a combination program with, I think I saw Audrey Robinson on the line, that would offer some student peer counseling and testing. So your LRC coordinator and 2 of your case managers are also housed right there in Tillery. So it's really good to be under the same roof, because we can make sure that are getting full services from both ends.
All right, thank you.
And I would like to say, I'm sorry. Under our Human Resources Development, we have many classes that are online that individuals can take. We do have some resume classes. So, the sky's the limit for everybody, but we do have classes.
Thank you very much. This was great. Everyone jumped in. This is so Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Michelle before we move on?
Yes, I have a question. For all of the information that is provided, what is the source or outlet to get that to individuals so they're able to utilize it. I asked that question only because I wasn't actually incarcerated in the state of North Carolina. It was Arizona. However, I'm on interstate in North Carolina, and a lot of this information I don't know where it is or how to get to it, and I haven't seen it. So I do a lot of research, but I just don't know where the website. So even going to my probation officer, he doesn't give me a lot of information, hasn't had a lot of resources, and so I've had to kind of like pick and pinch for things. So I'm just wondering how that information is provided to someone that's not in the state and then comes.
I think that's a really good.
Go ahead, Melanie.
Go ahead, Lenarda.
No, I wanted to clarify who the question was addressed to. But go ahead, you move on.
Well, I think it's an excellent point, Dominique. And maybe what we can do is reach out to you and get some support from you on how we can better make sure that our information is out there. We've got several subcommittees, and we'll talk offline to share more information to make sure you're aware of subcommittees so that we can get you active and you can help make sure that we are pushing information out where it needs to go.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Kimberly. Share your name. I know we see it, but just so we know who we're talking to.
Sure, I'm Kim Johnson. I work with Go Triangle, mostly inside of Wake County. But my question is, we are in the process right now of creating our grant proposals for the upcoming fiscal year. And we are looking at different partnerships in the community. And I'm wondering if there is a contact that we can sit down and have a discussion with about doing more integration with either capital area workforce development or with NC Works to share information about transportation options region-wide. I want to do some stuff locally, but region-wide as well. Can you share contacts with me for those organizations?
Absolutely, Kim. Thank you for, that's the purpose of the council. This is exactly what we want to do. And this is why one reason we asked everyone to please put your name and contact information. But yes, I will follow up with you after the meeting and I have your confirmation, your information, and I'll get you in contact with Natalie Mabon and Melinda Todd to follow up with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions or anything? I don't want to jump ahead because we do have an announcement section. As a matter of fact, we'll just hold out for you guys, okay, if you have any other questions or announcements to make so we can make sure that we are on task. Next we have, I know we said we have Dennis Daddy, but he's got some exciting news and some events going on in his family, so he's not here with us today. We do have in his place Miss Diana Powell. So Diana is going to share Second Chance Act, some brief Second Chance Act updates.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As the statewide outreach coordinator for Second Chance Alliance, and again, congratulations to Dennis. He is a new grandfather, and so we celebrate him in that capacity. As far as the Second Chance Alliance, we are continuing to meet. And we've been meeting about continuing to build our chapters around the state, but we do have a chapter here in Wake County, and that we want to continue to build that chapter up. We are also working on planning our Second Chance Lobby Day. We're not sure if it's going to be virtual or is it going to be in person. Normally that is the second week in May. So we're excited about that. Also, we, with our other partners, along with the Second Chance Alliance, with the North Carolina Justice Center, Forward Justice, all of us are still working on looking at changing some more laws because when the Second Chance Act, Bill 562 got passed, it got passed because we were able to have lobbyists in the place And that's what we'll continue to work on it, because we didn't get everything in that bill. So we're going to continue to fight to get more amendments to that bill. And we're steady putting our lobbyists in the legislative so we can get more laws changed, because everyone deserves a second chance. And again, thank you for this opportunity to be able to share that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Diana. All right. So up next, we have, this is really exciting. So as you know, our subcommittees have been meeting. I think we've met about 3 or 4 times. And fortunately, we have filled all but one of the positions, that's the chair and vice chair. And what I'd like to do is introduce to you our new leaders, and also just share that we're also still looking for someone to serve in the role of employment subcommittee chair. I'm going to share my screen. So Ms. Yamali German is with us. She is our housing subcommittee chair. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking you guys are looking at my screen. I apologize. All right, now you can see my screen. Ms. Yamali German is our housing subcommittee chair. She is a representative from Wake County Human Services. You'll be hearing from her shortly. She'll be sharing some updates with regard to the work that the housing subcommittee is doing.
Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me. I actually mentioned that my name is Yamali Jermaine, and I am the subcommittee chairperson, and I'm also have the opportunity as well to work with Diana Powell. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's actually the vice chair along with me. We are working, and I'm very delighted and thrilled to be giving this opportunity to be the chairperson for this committee. Currently, right now, and Diane, you could jump in at any time. Also, if you feel like I missed anything, but we currently right now we're working on we had recently a list of a list that was we are piling a list of for Wake County landlord who are background friendly, who are willing to accept Section 8 housing vouchers and convicted sex offenders. So we compiled a list with the help of Miss Betty Corbett and Diana as well, and myself. So we came up with the list of landlords that are friendly to accept this participant. And based on that, what we did is we actually also inquired the help of Lakeisha George. He is basically going to confirm the participant status to see if they are still willing and able to participate in the program, to accepting some of the tenants, some of the people that we are helping. And once that is completed, she will, Miss Betty Corbell is also agreed to confirm their vacancy. So we have to not only make sure that they are participating, but also they have room available for the participants that we want to introduce and help as well. Also, to complete it, once we take all that out of the way, we will then use the same list that we have compiled to invite them, because based on the last committee we met, one of the discussion was to also get understanding on both sides. So we have decided to send out a personal invite to a few or a selective landlord that are willing to participate to attend one of our committee meeting. So this way, when we meet with them, they could share their idea about what will make them more willing to accept our vulnerable population that we are dealing with. So with that being said, it will be more of a form of roundtable where where we will also invited some of the participants, some of the clients that we served, some of them to be there along with the landlord to share their challenges or experiences, so to allow both parties to come into the table to express their concerns, and also I think it's very important to educate the landlords about the benefits and the advantage and disadvantage of having to participate with the program of serving such a vulnerable population. So with that being said, we hope that by doing that, we could create tools for future to help not only help the clients with their renting process with the landlord, but also help the landlord with also keeping the process. So I guess it's a way to help both sides with their issues and concerns. And Diana, if I miss anything, you could always welcome to add.
Thank you very much, Yamali. I wanted to make sure that I know you all have seen Diana and are familiar with Diana. We recognized her in a highlight spotlight last year. So make sure you get her contact information. She, as Yamali said, she is our housing subcommittee vice chair. And I'll go back so you can also look and capture Yamali's contact information. So also wanted just to add, it's not too late to join one of the subcommittees. I'll make sure that you know how to participate in those meetings. I typically share the information. If you have attended one meeting, you'll continue to get the invitations. We don't share them in the calendar invite, but they go out in an email, so you can select if you want to participate in a particular meeting. Those meetings are all held on the same day at different times as well. Is there any question for Yamali or Diana with regard to the work that they are doing? Thank you very much, Yamali.
No, you have to type it in the chat.
All right, so next I'm going to introduce to you our Employment Subcommittee Vice Chair, Mr. Kaiser Wilson. As you see, he is a representative, you learned earlier, of the NC Works Career Center. He and I are in the same suite here, auxiliary place, and I will go ahead and let Kaiser, we were going to do the introductions, but Kaiser, you can just go ahead and follow Yamali's lead. You want to give your updates now? And
Sure.
a little bit about yourself as well. Thank you.
All right. Again, my name is Kaiser Wilson. I'm actually one of the business service consultants here at Artillery and NC Works. I've been in here about 3 years, come from a sales background and marketing background. And again, it's just a pleasure to be on the subcommittee as well as part of the local reentry council. I want to just send a big shout to Melinda and Donna for keeping me in the middle of the road with all the chaos that's going on around here, and making sure I'm prepared for everything. Quickly, I just want to just go over some of the notes from the last meeting we had, and just for the people that don't know about the subcommittee, the employment subcommittee, and what we do. First of all, just to talk about, we had quite a good amount of people. Had about 10 participants in the last meeting. People from all different parts of the states, all different came from all different entities. We had people from Wake Tech, community outreach. I think Ms. Davis is on today, was on the meeting last time, as well as we had Carolyn Perry and James Johnson from the Family Resource Council, and I'll speak more about that in a bit. But mostly just to give you a background of what our purpose is, and it's really simple. Same purpose as we are at NC Works. We're trying to help people get employed, sustain livable wages to take care of themselves and their family. And our goal with the subcommittee is to kind of just basically see what kind of barriers they're facing is coming out into the community, like such things as, transportation. We talked about that, getting livable wages so they can maintain their family and their homes, getting educated so they can be ready to be employed, as well as recruiting successful stories like we heard earlier about going out and retaining a job, not just getting a job, but being able to retain a job. Barriers such as the phobias that employers have about hiring someone that has a background, as well as just new ways to recruit different partners and different people to assist us in getting all of these things in place for them to have a great chance at employment. And we do report back to the local reentry council, you know, doing these meetings. So the information is disseminated through everyone once we come up with the next thing, the next plan we're going to do. Just to go over what we kind of talked about in the last meeting, Ms. Perry and Mr. Johnson, they are Family Resource Council staff out of the eastern part of the state. And they were giving us some success stories and things that they did to help their program and people in their program get hired and sustain jobs. They talked about connecting with the local chambers of commerce in the areas, which I think was a good thing. I'm actually connected to those chambers in Wake County. So getting the employment information to the job seekers, as well as making them aware of we have this population of people that are looking for employment that's not being tapped into. That was very, very exciting for me. Having one-on-one conversations with the employer about the needs and what they're looking for to bring back to the subcommittee to make sure we're prepared when we send resumes or we send these different people to these interviews. One thing that I thought was really, really eye-opening to me was peer mentoring. Having someone that has been in the same situation come out and be successful in the job, retaining the job, having them talk to the actual person that's re-entering and letting them know that, hey, this is how things go. Just giving them an eye to eye and being on their level, someone they can relate to, they have commonalities with each other. And that was really successful for me to hear that. They also talked about the success stories that we shared. Get them to your local medias, like your TV stations, your public stations, your social media sites, and letting these stories be heard so these employers can read about them, and that'll give them more encouraging, information to get them out to kind of tap into it. Also building relationships with the reentry people's family members, getting that support, making sure they know what's needed, whether it's transportation, whether it's, proper attire, if they can assist, because family is the only people that these people come out mostly trust is family. So having their support, making sure they're informed on what we're doing and how things work. We talked about vocational rehab as well as our mental health providers in case there's some needs there. And also getting feedback from the actual client that's coming out and seeing what they want to do. A lot of times I know in career centers, people come in with agendas and sometimes people don't come with agendas, but you need to hear what they want to do, because I know with the employers, when you send a resume over to an employer has a conversation with maybe a candidate, the candidate doesn't sound motivated to do that job, they just need a job. So we want to make sure that we put these people in position to be successful by having a conversation with them. Some of the other things we talked about was recruiting partners. Mr. Darren, I know you're on here, I'm gonna call you out. We talked about legal aid. I think if you have time or if someone in your organization has time, legal aid is really important because a lot of the businesses that I talk to, they want to know about the background. They want to know, well, if I take this chance or this risk, my vendors, they'll look at this and see, hey, is this a good look for me? So they want to know about, the legal part of it as well. And we as business service consultants, we don't have that information. So it'd be good to have someone on the team that could provide us some information or some insight, even to the point where you might even have to talk to an employer, to assist that along. That's pretty much all I have. Our meetings are bi-monthly. Am I right about that?
You're correct.
And every fourth Thursday. So if you have some time, I would love to some of you guys to join. My email is in the chat. If you need my phone number, I'll be glad to give it to you. We usually meet for about an hour between 2 and 3. And right now, what we're working on moving forward, me and Melinda and Donna talked about this. We're working on trying to create a virtual fair, if possible. If not possible, we're thinking about doing on-site fair, because we discussed maybe the barriers of the technology with the virtual fair might be a little bit much, but we're going to take a look at it, see if that's possible. But that's something down the road, maybe a round table with employers to get feedback and to share information and just to test the waters to see where they are as far as participating or considering hiring people with backgrounds, as well as I spoke earlier about resume building, trying to get reentry people excited about maybe doing a resume. That's a big deal. I actually work with Mr. Gaddy and Mr. Sapp and over there. They're always sending resumes over that are very incomplete, and they don't have the time to sit down. I don't really have the time to sit down, but this is something that will benefit the candidate based on the background to have a good resume. So that's something we will really shoot really hard to try to get. So those are the couple of things that we have. And if there's anything I miss, Melinda and Donna, you can chime in on that as well.
No, I think you covered everything. Just we also still do need a chair, and we would love to have more members.
Yes, yes. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
Again, the presentation will be available online, so you can capture Kaiser's information, all of our chair and vice chair's information, and I'll probably just do a follow-up email because I know there's some flyers and some other event information we want to hand out, so you'll probably just get all that information as well tomorrow. All right. Thank you very much, Kaiser.
You're absolutely welcome.
All right, and our final, so we have 3 subcommittees: housing, employment, and supportive services. And as a reminder, supportive services includes everything that's obviously not housing and employment. We have a chair and a vice chair. Our chair is Ms. Bernadette McAllister. She is a Wake Tech Community College instructor and a test coordinator. And we'll ask Bernadette to give a update on the Supportive Services Subcommittee. But before we do that, I'd also like to introduce who she is working with, who's leading this work, and that is Ms. Karen McDaniel. She is our vice chair of the Supportive Services Subcommittee. And Karen references, she's the founder and the executive director of Take Flight Services. They provide case management services. And Karen will, once she can get a minute, and she can share a little bit about herself as well. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Bernadette McAllister for an update.
Good afternoon. Just want to say that I was born and raised right here in Southeast Raleigh. I have a passion for it. So anything I can do to help, I will. I'm also going to speak about Southeast Raleigh Connect. Ms. Glover could not be here today. It is a nonprofit agency with a full computer lab. But anyway, the Supportive Services Subcommittee met last on January 28th. In 2020, we identified 7 priorities that we would focus on over the next 12 months. Those 7 focus areas were prioritized in order of importance. First item is creating a list of medical service providers that offer free or sliding scale services as needed. The list is going to include mental health services providers, general health care service providers, as well as transportation services. This list will be shared with all council members for distribution to your participants. This is a much needed list because we've got so many that don't know where to go. So our next subcommittee meeting will be March 25th, and our priority areas across several sectors. So please, if you're interested in joining, please come to the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bernadette. All right, Karen, did you have anything to add to that? If not, we would like you to just say a few words as our vice chair.
Hi, my name is Karen McDaniel, and I work with Take Flight Services, and we provide case management services in our main office is in Pembroke, but we have a satellite positioning in Raleigh. And I'm looking forward to meeting with everyone and helping to bring a great change to that is needed. And I don't have anything else to add, but I do just want to say that if anyone has any case management opportunities that would like to partnership with us and to be able to provide the support to the community, I will like to hear from you.
Thank you, Karen. And thank you especially to all of those who have stepped up to serve in the role of chair and vice chair for the Wake Local Reentry Council subcommittees. Again, I would just like to remind you that we are still looking for a person to serve in the role of chair for the employment subcommittee. All right, so we have come to the part where we're going to have our announcement, and I think I might have gone ahead of myself. I know you guys can't see the screen. Yes, I'm going to share the screen again. All right. So what I'd like for you to do is to unmute yourselves and make any announcements, but I'll go first. What I'd like to share is that you had some meetings with our housing partners, and during those meetings, our housing partners mentioned that there are some items that they're in need of, and I'd like to share that with you all because you may have some resources and we can build those connections and bridge those gaps. And particularly, one of our housing partners mentioned needing mobile phones. So if someone has a resource to share to help our reentry participants that are living in the transitional houses to access mobile phones for free, or, definitely free or for a very reduced cost, please share that. Please speak up and let us know that so that we can share that information. In addition to that, Bernadette mentioned the subcommittee, the supportive services subcommittee is working on a resource guide to share information with regards to medical services, and that's also one of the requests from one of our housing partners. They just wanted to know how they can connect their residents with medical services. So that's something that we're addressing that, and the information, as Bernadette shared earlier, will be the information with regard to that. The medical service provider list will be shared with the council. In addition to that, Ms. Dominique Goodman is here, and I've invited her, and she's a new council member. She is the executive director and founder of Correctional Views. If you haven't heard of her, I encourage you to go to her website at correctionalviews.com and listen to her TED Talk. But I've invited Dominique to the council, and again, I said she's a new member, so she is officially a council member. We're glad to have you here today, Dominique. But we want you to share your information, particularly about what you have coming up in March. And I know that you are planning to. Well, you know what? I won't share what you need to be sharing. So if you will go ahead and let us know who you are, what you're doing, and let us know what you got coming on in March and how it can impact our reentry participants.
Yes, I just want to thank you very much for this invitation to come here and speak to allow individuals to know what is going on. Just a 20-second overview. I moved out to Arizona to get my master's, got in a car accident. I just left a happy hour. Wrongful conviction for making this big old car accident, and I signed a plea, served 5 years, and I fought for my innocence the entire time, never achieved it. Still on probation, yes. So I created Correctional Views just to start promoting education behind what happens with the court systems, different things that change in statutes when people move from state to state, especially after leaving college, and just kind of take a proactive stance, knowing and highlighting all of the great organizations that do things to fight for equitable change after individuals are released. We are just starting to focus on stopping the rising number of individuals becoming impacted by the system. Throughout the past year, a lot of individuals reach out to me on social medias. They're not able to get in contact with individuals. They feel out of the loop. I have been able to found this organization. I recently have been, hired with the Center of Third World Organizing as a communications coordinator, and I do several other things. However, it's based off of connections that I have from colleagues, individuals from college and Black-owned organizations that have assisted me. So I just wanted to do something to type of replicate that, to remind individuals that they are not outside of the community. People are not judging them, and especially with the Black community, that they're here to support, because we all have traumas. It's just prison happens to be, or the justice system happens to be our trauma. So I've teamed up with a lot of Black-owned organizations. I've been sponsored by a Black company. They own watches that just got into Nordstrom's, that will be doing giveaways this month. Financial advisor guidance, free sessions, coaching sessions with therapists, because I'm glad to hear some of the things that you're saying, because it took me a very long time to get a therapist. The place that they sent me to when I got here from, she started telling me her problems like 2 sessions in, and I was pretty sure that's not how that goes. And just kind of all of the things that I was not able to get access of of information when I got here from Arizona. I just kind of try to replicate it out and push it out. So all of that information is going to be pushed out on social media starting Monday. However, the giveaways, the only qualifications are that you have to be impacted by the system. It's going to be an honor code type of thing, because I'm not going to go through and check people's ADC numbers or ask them the qualifications. I would just hope that people aren't going to say they were to get something that they could get anyway. I just want to kind of increase the odds of individuals winning. One of the other things that happened was I have a barbershop in Raleigh that is dedicating a Sunday just to give free haircuts to men, recently released. However, I've been unable to get a location to kind of host that at. So I know that I'm connecting with the men that need it the most. I didn't want to rely on social media for that. But while I've been looking for someone to provide me information, because I don't know where the men are to contact them, I was actually connected with a barbershop in Greensboro. He owns a barbershop and a barbershop school. We are now hosting an event on March 19th. The date was just confirmed this week, a couple of days ago, actually. March 19th, I reached out and we're working with Malachi's House for the individuals that are there. Also, just other individuals that need it as well are open to come. It's going to be from 10 to 3. We are going to have COVID testing there as well. Everything's going to be social distancing. We're going to have free food, a live DJ. Everyone's going to give a free cut. And now the owner is also offering the men a chance to enroll into his barbershop college for free, just to give them access to gain a new skill trade outside of other things, just kind of diminishing different barriers, because the background check kind of is like, it's anxiety for a lot of people. So we have that option. I also have a financial advisor that's actually listed with Forbes. He has an online course that he charges it goes on sale sometimes, but usually it's like $90. He's actually going to give me that code, and anybody that's been impacted is going to be able to access that code, take this class. And it basically just teaches you different things of like monetizing your skills, and being able to create, money flow without, the anxiety of job applications as well. So yeah, because that's actually what led to my employment and my paycheck, and that I'm grateful for right now. So I never want to list my current success on like saying, oh, anybody can do it. No, that's not true. And it doesn't, money doesn't, resolve trauma at all. I just want to sit out there and be able to provide that support, and for people to be able to see that the support is there, so they can start, getting the courage to step out of the norm of the individuals they speak to, because sometimes help is in other locations as well. So that's a summary. There's like way more stuff. I just was trying to keep it short for you guys.
Thank you very much, Dominique. And I just to recap, so your event in March is in Greensboro, correct? And
Yes,
you're looking for a site to duplicate something similar in the Raleigh County area, correct?
Right. Yeah, I already have the barbers that have volunteered for it. It's like I said, I just didn't want to pick a date for it. And we're just depending on social media for people that may see it to come out there. I called out to like some halfway houses and some organizations. I just haven't received a response. So I'm just looking for that right now.
So everyone, if you have some contacts for Dominique put her information in there. I think she's got a flyer. I mentioned earlier I would be sending something out as a follow-up to today's meeting. So if you have some flyers or some information that you want to get out, please get that to me by the end of the day so that we can include it in one huge email with the attachments. And so you'll know how to follow up with Dominique and whoever else. Thank you very much, Dominique. All right.
Lenarda,
Yes, Natalie, I think something's going on.
Lenarda, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I was just never mind. I'll chat because I think we were talking about meeting with Dominique about the logistics behind a Raleigh event, correct? Okay,
Yes,
I wanted to
yes,
make sure this was the same person.
yes. Dominique is the same person from yesterday.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sounds good.
Excited to talk with you, Dominique.
Yes. And if anyone else has something to share with Dominique or anyone else, Michelle, any of the presenters, any questions, please make sure you capture the names, the contact information, follow up. And again, especially with regards to my request for housing partners wish list. I also, well, you know what, I'm not going to take over the announcement part. I'd like for you all to take the floor and unmute yourselves and share any announcement that you have with regards to an upcoming event, probably going to be virtual, but even if it's not virtual, so that we can get the messaging out. So the floor is yours.
Hi, all. This is Megan Eilenberger. I'm with Dress for Success, and we have on March 19th a virtual second chance job fair. So employers that we've invited who will hire folks who have been justice involved. It is primarily for women, or folks who identify as women, but it is open to everyone. I'll put a link to register in the chat and also upload. It looks like I can upload a file, so I'll upload a document that you can share that advertises that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Donna. I have a quick announcement on the behalf of one of our partner agencies. I won't say who they are, but right now they have some resources available for individuals that some of you folks might serve for child care assistance. It does have to be child care services like in the actual building, can't be like a grandma, grandpa, you know, that sort of thing, as well as transportation, clothing, work boots, and emergency hotels. So if you have anyone, you can feel free to email me. I'll drop that in the chat and give me their phone number as well, and I'll reach out to them to see how we can serve them.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, so just give me this last few minutes. We have a lot of new council members, individuals that may have joined since we've done some changes. So what I'd like to do is just kind of take a minute to share with you our website. Hopefully all of you have had a moment to visit our website at wakelrc.org. There are a few things that you may be interested in. Hopefully, I'm imagining that you all can see my screen now, but this is where you would make a referral. You select that button. I know we have changed that process earlier last year, but this is the process going forward. An individual, and it could be a self-referral, it can be an agency referral, a partner referral. We've received many referrals from our partners at North Carolina Department of Public Safety. But you as service providers can also go here and make your client referrals, or you can just send your clients right here. And then once that referral is submitted, the person who submits the referral will receive an email confirmation just letting them know that it was a successful submission, and then a case manager will follow up with that individual. In addition, I'm going to also select this meetings tab here. If you for some reason, don't get the email, the calendar invite or something, you can always access our meetings and event information here. I also include the links to our Zoom meetings. And I mentioned earlier that I would show you where you can enjoy or that expungement seminar facilitated by Legal Aid last month. So you can just hit that button, again, go to the meeting and event page and go right here, and you can participate in that meeting. Finally, we have a new page. If you visit our website, it's new. If not, it's all the same for you. There's a new page here, and it's news and information. You may have noticed, hopefully you noticed, hopefully you missed our highlights newsletter that you did not receive in January. Now we mentioned there'd be some changes, and one of the changes that we have made is our highlights newsletter will no longer be every other month. I usually coordinate with the month of our subcommittee meeting. So they come out just early, just in the beginning of the month that we will have had the council meeting. But we're changing that. These newsletters are going to go out quarterly. So if you miss that email, you can always just jump up here and we will keep the highlights newsletters here. So you'll be receiving one, I believe, late March. In addition to that, we are always looking for your feedback and your input. So one of the other new pieces of our work is we have a survey, and it's a survey just to measure how we're doing and give you an opportunity to share your feedback. You can access that here from this information and news page. And you can also access the survey at the bottom of our email. So if you'll notice when you receive an email from me, there's a link to this survey. It's I think about 3 or 4 questions. It's really quick. Just ask how we're doing it. If you have some particular information or feedback you want to share, you have an opportunity to include that as well. So thank you very much. Again, take a minute to go and visit us at wakelrc.org. One other thing while I'm here, I just thought about this. We have one of the other new changes. Please take a minute and note that this phone number is new, and I'll need to please update your contacts. Wake LRC contact information will change in April. The 856-2750 still works, but we have officially, I'm actually removing that information from our flyers, from my signature. This will be the number that you'll use, and it's the phone number that's here in the Tillery Center, and this is the office that I sit in right now. So this is our new number, 919-754-5326. All right, thank you very much. I'm gonna stop.
Quick question.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson, I saw the referral, the way you wanted us to submit referrals from now on. What if we have sent some referrals in? I think I sent quite a few in last week, maybe 2 or 3 last week. Do you want us to go back and redo? Because I just emailed them.
So you submitted them to the wakelrc@wakegov.com email address?
No, I emailed them directly to you.
I didn't receive those. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
But
so
here's my email address. You can see the
yeah, I have it. I have it.
You don't need to change it. I don't want you to do that work twice, but I did not receive them. If you'll just go ahead and send them to my email, you can send them to me directly. But going forward, I think that if you fill out a form, it's probably very long, so I don't want you to do that over again. But go ahead going forward, just use the website. It's a lot simpler. It'll be a lot easier on you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll respond and let you know that I received the referrals that you said you submitted. Jennifer, what's your last name? I don't see it, so I'll look for it.
Wade, W-A-D-E.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to. I know it was the Nikki Williamson. So
I'll go back and look and make sure I didn't overlook that email. And either way, I'll respond by the end of the day.
and I'll just, when I find them, I will just, send like a reply or response or something. So it'll just kind of go back to you again.
Okay. Thank you very much, you all. I know it's it's after 2:30. I don't want to hold you long. However, if you have questions, I will stay around, but thank you very much for your time. If you have something to share, please send that to me by the end of the day, a flyer or an event that you want me to get out. We'll get that out tomorrow to the council. Oh, you know what? And yeah, we'll get that out tomorrow to the council. Thank you very much. And you guys have a safe next month. We look forward to seeing you at our subcommittee meetings on March 25th. We also, don't forget that we have the expungement session on March 4th, and our next council meeting is April 22nd. Thank you all.